everyone, welcome to the first Halton Hills housing update of 2024. I hope you all had a great holiday season. So now getting into where we are starting off the year and what has happened in the last few weeks. So I will start by looking at December's numbers compared to 2022. So in December of 2022, we had 38 units sell and our average price was $1,092,000. This December was not a great December. I mean, we're not surprised. We saw very low sales, a lot of listings coming off the market, and a lot of the lower stuff was selling, but nothing kind of in the higher price points. So the numbers reflect this. So in December of 2023, we're down 31% in terms of units year over year, down to 26 units in all of December that sold. That might be the lowest number I've ever seen in a month. That is very low. And looking at our average price, we were only at $920,000. This is down just under 16% year over year. And this is our lowest average price that we saw in all of 2023. So in 2022, October was the only month that we went under $1 million in terms of our average price in Halton Hills. This year, December was the only month that we went under $1 million, and we went well under that $1 million. And when I looked at the sales over the course of December, I mean, you heard me talking about the fact that the higher stuff wasn't selling. We only had, of the 26 units, 8 of them sold over $1 million. Only 2 sold north of $1.2 million, and our highest sale was $1.425. So nothing sold over $1.5 million in all of December. So far majority of properties that are selling are still under that $1 million mark, and that really brought our average price down for December. What's interesting is what I'm going to be talking about with inventory and seeing how that impacts our January sales and if that can help prices rebound a bit. So looking at what happened for the last 2 weeks, Georgetown only had 5 sales, which is extremely low, especially considering I didn't do an update and we're looking at a 2-week period. So only 5 sales over the course of sort of the holiday season. And there was only 3 new listings. So I mean, that's no huge surprise. People aren't like, I want to list my house this time of year. So only 3 new listings. And so inventory, not keeping up with sales, but that's really still not the main conversation. Acton had 2 sales and 3 new listings, which is normal for a week in Acton. So over 2 weeks, that's quiet. There was no sales and no new listings in Glen Williams or Limehouse. And the rural market had 2 sales and 2 new listings. So some movement in the rural market, but really, really low sales in general for the month of December. Another conversation point. We have been watching these properties coming off the market, and there was no change in that trend over the last 2 weeks. So when I looked at the suspended, terminated, expired listings, we had 31 that fell in the category. Of those 31, 2 of them relisted at the same price. So no changes, just refresh their listing. 4 of them relisted at a reduced price. So we saw them adjusting their price downward to, hopefully drum up some interest. 25 of the 31 properties came off the market and have not relisted. So you can imagine what that is going to do to our active inventory. This has been going on for months now, and 25 is a huge number. I think that's our second highest number that we've seen since I've been tracking them. 1 week was 30, but 25 listings off the market, not relisted. That means inventory is majorly down. So going into 2024, our active inventory in all of Halton Hills is at 112 active listings. This is a pretty low number. I'll remind you, we got up to 230 at one point in October. So fast forward 2 months and we are in very low territory at 112 active listings. When we went into last year, we had 100 active listings on my first update of 2023. So we are not far off where we were, but I think the difference is it feels like people are just exiting the market like crazy right now. So I think that number is going to soften a bit more. So looking at Georgetown, we are going into the new year with 60 active listings. That is down from 78 before Christmas. So we saw quite a reduction in inventory in Georgetown over the holidays. 60 listings is very low. When we were very busy in May. We got into the like 56 range. So we are very close to having inventory levels be at kind of the numbers we were seeing when the market got extremely busy in 2023. So I am very invested in what is about to happen here in the next few months to see if inventory stays low and if that demand, if we go back, it's hard to even fathom that we could go back into a cycle of like bidding wars and chaos, but 60 listings is way down from the 140 that we had in October. So this is going to be interesting. Looking at our price points, under 800,000 is down from 17 to 11 active listings, and only one of those is a freehold property. So 10 of them are condo townhomes and condo apartments. So not a lot available in the freehold market in that lower pocket, which is also a shift because we had quite a bit that you could pick up under 800. You lower price point buyers may have missed the window on freehold if our inventory stays this low. 800 to $1 million is down from 21 to 16 active listings, so sitting relatively low. 1 to 1.5 million is down from 27 to 21. This is a price point where we are seeing a lot of people exiting the market. As I explained, we are not seeing a lot of sales over $1 million, so not surprising that the people over $1 million are like, I'm getting out of here. 1.5 million plus saw a pretty significant reduction, especially from where we've come from this year. So 1.5 million plus is down to 12 active listings from 17. The update I did this time last year, that had 20 active listings in that price point. We have been talking about how the people over 1.5 million need to be coming down because the reality is no one is paying those ridiculous prices, especially for the subdivision homes. And so we're only down to 12 listings. That's not a lot over 1.5 million in town. Overall, Georgetown is sitting very low. The pockets, aside 1 to 1.5 is still sitting sort of high, but not that high. Aside from that, we're sitting with really low inventory. I think if we don't see a lot of the properties that we saw come off, in the last 8 weeks, if they don't re-enter the market, we are going to be in like an inventory situation and our market will bounce back. It's inevitable. There is not a lot of houses available. So watching that closely, we'll see what happens if people start to re-enter come next week, kind of as the holidays wrap up and everyone's back to normal. So watching that closely will be interesting. Acton this week is down from 21 to 18 active listings. So that's still sort of high for Acton, not a number where I'd be like the market's going to be crazy there, but we were up over 30 at one point. So it is definitely softening there. Glen Williams is down slightly from 8 to 7 active listings. Lots of high ticket stuff. There's a really low price point house in the Glen under 700,000, and then it goes to almost $2 million. So there's this very big disparity in pricing in the Glen. So you need to have a bigger budget to be looking here. Limehouse has no active listings still, and the rural market is down from 29 to 27 active listings. This is a market where we are seeing very high inventory. Last year when we did this update, we were at 14, and this year it's 27. So we're almost double where we started last year. So the rural market is certainly hurting, and that is correlated to the fact that most rural properties are higher priced because you get more land, usually a bigger house. So the rural market has certainly been a market that has struggled in terms of sales this year. So that's the first update of 2024. I think it's very interesting. I never would have guessed 2-3 months ago that this is the kind of update that I would be giving in terms of our active inventory. I'm not surprised at our December sales. These are the kinds of numbers I was expecting in October and November because it felt so desperate then and the inventory was so high and people were just not buying. But the December update is definitely more reflective of the pricing that I felt like we were seeing and the number of units just being down. So the biggest thing we're watching right now is if the inventory comes back on the market and that starts to spike in the new year. If it doesn't, like I said, I think the buyers who were waiting for a deal or think prices are coming down, the ship might be sailing and we may start to see prices bounce back pretty significantly here because there's just not a lot of inventory. So next week, if we see the trend continue where people are coming off the market and our inventory is going down, like, it's going to be a busy Q1, I think. But that's sort of where we're at for December and where I think we're going into the new year. Next week might give us a better picture, but I still just am shocked at how low inventory is sitting right now. So I will be back next Tuesday to see what happens. Have a great week, everyone.